Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh and this is your stimulus check update for the second stimulus package for Saturday, July 18th. I hope everyone is off to a great start to their weekend so far. In this video, I'll be discussing both the first and second stimulus check packages, including some of the internal tensions going on right now, right inside the White House in regards to the second stimulus package. I'll be going over what those tensions are about, what the debates are over, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, giving me a big thumbs up, it really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so as I mentioned before, there are still millions of people still unpaid for the first round of stimulus checks, which is honestly baffling because these checks started going out months ago and we still have people who are still waiting for their first round of stimulus checks. So with that said, let me know in the comment section below if you still haven't received your first stimulus payment. Also, let me know if you received your stimulus payment, and if so, when exactly did you receive your first stimulus check? I mean, really, for those people who still haven't received their first stimulus payments, it almost seems like their stimulus check should come with interest at this point or something like that, but I really can't see something like that actually happening. Now, with all that said, the next round of direct deposits are set to go out next Wednesday on July 22nd. So in the meantime, continue checking the payment portal and let me know in the comment section below if you're also receiving a payment date of July 22nd as well. Also, just another quick reminder, if you are an expat living abroad outside the United States, the IRS did mention that you should be receiving your direct deposit no later than July 24th. That's if you do have a US-based bank account. Now, unfortunately, if you do not have a US-based bank account, it is going to take a little bit longer because they're going to have to be sending your stimulus check in the mail instead. And finally, if you would like to reach out to the IRS and give them a phone call, the number that you can call would be 1-800-919-9835. I would recommend to call a little bit earlier in the day though, just to avoid long hold times. And just keep in mind the IRS agent may not know much more than what you can already find yourself through the payment portal. All right, moving right along to some updates in regards to the second stimulus check and second stimulus package. Fox Business reports of a civil war taking place right now in the White House with Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and Economic Advisor Larry Kudlow clashing over the next stimulus package. Now, in these two individuals, we have two very different types of people and two very differing viewpoints. You see, Larry Kudlow has been a longtime advocate of lowering taxes. He absolutely despises taxes. He thinks that it actually can spur economic growth. So with that said, he is really pushing for a payroll tax cut in the next stimulus package. Kudlow isn't the only economist pushing for a payroll tax cut in the next stimulus package either. For months now, other economists in addition to Kudlow have advocated a payroll tax holiday or an elimination of the payroll tax and a so-called negative payroll tax, a wage subsidy the government would give to employers who would pass it on to their employees as a part of the next and probably final stimulus legislation before the November election. Okay, so that's basically what Larry Kudlow is calling for here. A payroll tax holiday that puts more money into the hands of workers, increasing their take-home pay. And while this is a fantastic thing for workers, they're receiving more money in their paychecks, it doesn't really help those people who are retired or those people who are unemployed. Then, on the other hand, we have Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, who just happens to be a former Wall Street executive. Mnuchin is saying that a payroll tax cut would not be passed by Congress, it would not pass in the House, just because it would face stiff opposition from Nancy Pelosi. And you know, I believe he is actually right here. I don't think that solely a payroll tax cut would be bipartisan here. I think we would have to include other things that the House majority Democrats would be on board with as well. Now, if you do remember, Barack Obama had his own payroll tax cut back in 2011 through 2012, so this isn't just a Republican thing to do. Instead, Steven Mnuchin is pushing for a second round of stimulus payments in addition to the extension of the unemployment benefits. Mnuchin believes that we need to draft the next stimulus bill with something that the House majority Democrats will also be on board with, so we can have a bipartisan stimulus bill that will have a greater chance of actually passing. Remember, it really doesn't matter too much if we pass a stimulus package in the Senate because it also has to pass in the House in order for this bill to become a law as well. So with all that said, we really need to come up with something bipartisan here. We need to have something that the Democrats can be on board with, and then we need something that the Republicans can be on board with as well. Who do you guys think is right here? Do you believe that Kudlow's payroll tax cut is a good idea? Or do you think that is something that's just completely unrealistic? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now, one GOP lobbyist has said that, quote, "It's getting a little personal. Kudlow looks at Mnuchin as a Wall Street type who hasn't fought the good fight over tax cuts as he has since the Reagan years. This GOP lobbyist went on to say, quote, Mnuchin thinks Larry is being unrealistic because there's no way Nancy Pelosi will pass a tax cut and give the president that type of victory before November. So here in Mnuchin and Kudlow, we have two very powerful figures in the White House, and they are both dueling it out to get other GOP officials on board with their own plan. Now, it has been mentioned that President Trump's daughter, Ivanka Trump, is in support of Mnuchin, which you would think would give him a slight edge here. On the other hand, Larry Kudlow has a lot of support himself, especially from Congress members such as Tom Cotton, who is the senator in Arkansas. So it should be very interesting to see which of these two figures can win the most members of Congress over. Larry Kudlow has been around for a long time now. For decades now, Kudlow has been around advocating for free market conservatism and supply-side economics. Because of this and him being around for such a long period of time, he's really won over a lot of members in Congress. And Mnuchin, on the other hand, like I mentioned before, could be considered a little bit more liberal as far as economics go. Since his career was on Wall Street, he often relied on government subsidies, including Federal Reserve action, for much of its profits. So on one side of the aisle, we have Kudlow's group, who simply believes that Mnuchin relies too much on government spending to spark economic growth. Then on the other hand, we have Mnuchin's side of the aisle, who believes that Kudlow's plan is simply unrealistic and it's not going to be something that's bipartisan and it's not going to be able to pass Congress. Another difference that we've seen from these two figures are on stimulus checks. Now, on one hand, we have Steven Mnuchin, who is completely on board with sending out another round of stimulus payments, and he said that everyone who received the first round of stimulus payments should also be eligible for the second round of stimulus payments as well. And then, as we've heard recently, Larry Kudlow wants to give less than $1,200 in the next round of stimulus payments, and he also wants to reduce the amount of stimulus payments sent out only to the lower income brackets and to the unemployed. Now, I'm curious, does anyone actually believe that Kudlow's plan is the best way to go here? Let me know in the comment section below if you believe that Kudlow is more right here or if you believe that Mnuchin is more right here. As far as unemployment goes, Mnuchin and Kudlow both would like to reduce the federal unemployment boost from the 600 that it's currently at to a lower number. Kudlow and Mnuchin both believe that extending the federal unemployment boost at $600 on a weekly basis could potentially provide a disincentive to actually return to work. Instead, Larry Kudlow is advocating for a return to work bonus. And we've already seen different proposals for a return to work bonus, such as Rob Portman's $450 weekly return to work bonus, where you would receive $450 from the federal government on top of your normal paycheck. Steven Mnuchin also realizes that some people are receiving way too much money on the federal unemployment boost, so he would like to lower the amount of the federal unemployment boost and put a cap on it so people aren't earning more on unemployment than they were at their prior job. Okay, so all in all, it should be very interesting to see how all of this unfolds. I will say though, at the very least, it's pretty refreshing that Steven Mnuchin actually wants the next stimulus package to be bipartisan. I understand that you have to fight and negotiate for the policies that you would consider to be best, but with only 2 to 3 weeks to get this next stimulus package passed, we simply do not have much time to waste. The House has their own summer recess coming up on August 3rd, but Nancy Pelosi says she's already willing to delay that summer recess in order to get this next stimulus package passed. Now, the Senate has yet another month-long recess coming up on August 10th, so their last day in Washington to get the stimulus package passed would be on August 7th. And really, you'd have to hope that they pass something before July 31st, being that the federal unemployment boost in the CARES Act will be expiring on July 31st as well. The Senate will be returning to Washington in 2 days on Monday, so we're about to find out some very exciting news. Alright, so at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you have any other comments or questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to respond to as many comments and questions as I possibly can. And those comments and questions that I'm not able to get to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first comment of today's video. And that comes from Sherry. Sherry says, Josh, I really enjoyed your video. But do you think we may 100% get another stimulus check for people on retirement? This virus has affected people on retirement because we are having to spend more money than usual. If we do get a stimulus check, do you know when they will start sending them out? All right, Sherry, thank you so much for that comment. And yes, I am very, very confident that we will receive a second stimulus check. This is something that is very bipartisan at the moment, meaning that both the Democrats and the Republicans are very, very much on board for sending out a second round of stimulus payments. I do think it's going to be another round of $1,200 just because that is the most agreeable number at this point. And if they do pass this next stimulus bill sometime either in late July or early August, I would expect for the next round of stimulus checks to start rolling out a few weeks later. So I would expect for you to receive your stimulus payment either in late August or perhaps early September. All right, so the next question up to date is from Hugo. Hugo says, why did my first $1,200 stimulus check go to child support? What about the second one? Will it go to child support too? That isn't fair. All right, thank you so much for that question, Hugo. And yes, unfortunately, if you did have some type of past due child support, your stimulus payment would be offset by the past due child support. Now, in the second round of stimulus payments, we're not sure whether or not child support could offset your stimulus payment. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm guessing that it probably will, but nothing has been said official yet one way or another. All right, so on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so, and it's a great support to me. Also, if you would like to receive one free stock from Robinhood valued all the way up to $500, please feel free to claim that free stock by clicking the link in the description box below. And until next time, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today.